What's up, Inner Circle? Hey guys, what's up? Brian and Chuck, what's up? Aliana and Kim, Alina, hey Rocky, Pascal, always good to see you. What's going on? Matthew and Kim. Hey guys, welcome to this month's Inner Circle, part of mastermind.com. Hey, great to have you guys here. You know, for those of you that are new, raise your hand if this is your first time being part of our monthly Inner Circle. Wow, good to see you, Kim. We got a couple of new hands, about 10, 20%. Good to see you. Welcome to this. This has been going on for, I don't know, 7, 8 years. For you guys to be a part of Mastermind, now it's all merged together. So glad to have you here. You know, every month I try to just think through what I wish I would have in that month if something's changed with the outside world, what's going on to set up a year, right? We're going, if you're watching this live, you could be watching the replay someday, but right now we're going into the new year, and this is prep time, right? How do we make 2023 the best year of our lives? And depending when you watch this, it's always good to see because it's always things we should be doing on an ongoing basis. So I really thought through what could set us up so we can hit January hard, right? We know this is a time of uncertainty and all those things. We can overplay that, but the fact of the matter is this is a different 2023 is going to be different than any year in the last 15, and we definitely want to look through the lens of opportunity, not obstacles. We definitely want to find a path to our full potential when the world needs us the most, to live into our leadership skills. And being a leader doesn't mean you're leading others. It means that you become the greatest leader of yourself. And in most cases, when you are, people follow. You don't have to ask. That's what true leadership is. But so glad to have you guys here. Couple of things as Mastermind members. Remember, if you didn't see InsideMastermind.com on the 15th, on Wednesday the 15th, we launched Tony's course, The Time of Your Life. It's an amazing course. If you haven't jumped in and saw that yet, please know. Every month on the 15th, we're releasing a new course. The month before that was Brendan Burchard. The month before that was Trent Shelton. Next month on the 15th will be from Jenna Kutcher. And we just got the whole year lined up with amazing opportunity. Again, I'm live with you every month, and you have like 4 years worth of Inner Circles on every topic you could possibly imagine in marketing, mindset, and momentum. So you want marketing? Go find those. Want mindset? Go find those. Want to scale and momentum strategies? You go find those. They're all in your library. You have access for them like Netflix for success, right? Also, mark this on your calendar. January 5th. January 5th, I am doing what I've been doing for the last decade. Every year in January, I used to do it on January 1st, but that was a little crazy because so many of you were hungover, so I couldn't do that anymore. No, kidding, but true. In some cases, on January 5th, no more January 4th, or January 1st, we're calling it the New World Blueprint, but what basically I do is, and I've been doing this again for a decade, is I take about 3 hours and go over how I plan my year for success. I show how I set goals, how I go deeper, how do I overcome obstacles, how do I use the previous year as rocket fuel for 2023, right? Everything I've done, like how do you take the previous year and make it your ramp rather than your anchor? And it's been unbelievable. I do it again. I've done it every year. It's amazing. You guys will get an invite. It's a free invite, but just be on the lookout for it. You'll get a special email because you're part of the Mastermind family. So you'll get an email for the event, but it will be January 5th, I think 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. My team can tell me if I'm wrong. Just mark it in your calendar, but no, you'll get an email. We'll post it inside the Facebook group, and you guys got a special invite. Who's going to attend that? It's going to be fun as hell. All right, Mastermind family. Again, if you're brand new, welcome to this amazing family. You know, I have something on my glasses. If you could bring me a tissue or something, I got like, it's all blurry through my glasses. I don't know. I should just go get LASIK, but my kids say that I'll look funny without glasses, so I can't do that. For those of you that are just, yeah, no kidding, I take my glasses off. My kids are like, no, put them back on. Thank you, Mike. I want to let you guys know, if you're new to this family, new to the Inner Circles every month, is I get the blessing of being with my tribe. When I say my tribe, my family, and I consider this part of family. I get to be with you guys in different ways. I do Monday lives inside the Facebook group. Oh my God, so much better. I feel better. Monday Lives. I get to be with Project Next Level people, that's some of our higher level education. I get to do miscellaneous trainings. And each time I come to a different group, I have a different feeling. Like you build a different relationship. This monthly training has been going on for heading towards a decade. So many times it'll be very personal. It's very relaxed. I literally geek out all month, and I journal every single day in my journal. How many of you have the Better Life Journal? I journal every single day, and I always take the journals the journal entries that impact my life. I see you, Fanny. I see you, so many holding it up. I take the journal entries that impact my life the most. I implement them into my life, and a lot of times that's exactly what I share. And if it's a marketing breakthrough that month, you get it. If it's mindset, you get it. Again, going back to what I think this time of year, I think this is a time of year that the best I could serve you by being a part of this family is to be a reminder service today as we head into the new year, as we head into that 3-hour strategy session that you'll all be invited to. Is a reminder service is, the way I look at it is, who here knows that there are a million different exercise plans and a million different eating plans, exercise plans, health plans? Is there like the fad of the month? It's keto. No, it's not keto. It's the Atkins diet. No, eat lots of carbs, just fruit. Oh my God, you shouldn't eat any fruit. It's too much sugar. You should just eat all of it. Like, oh my God. And then it's like, should I do HIIT training? Should I do yoga? Should I work out because I need muscle? No, that everything drives you. Like, there's so much of it. But the fact of the matter is, if I was going to write a book on how to be in better shape, could I really just boil it down and say, eat better, work out more? Not trying to oversimplify it, but is that true? Right? If we all know how to make better eating decisions most of the case, and we all know that if we physically move better, it'd be good. Wouldn't that, keep it simple, right, Louisa, right? But if you already know that, why aren't all of us looking like Adonises and ripped and shredded? Sometimes we need reminders, right? We need to do things repetitively. We need to find new disciplines. We need to model patterns that we know are successful. So many times our brain is looking for the magical new thing, the new diet, the new exercise. We only have to be on the treadmill for 8 minutes and we'll be in shape. Listen, how about like the 7-minute plans or the 15-minute plans? They sell, but does it really get you the results you want? Do we all know that to get the results we want, we got to do the work? If you want to be in better shape, you got to do the work. You got to discipline yourself. You got to follow patterns. You got to exercise. That's just the way it goes. And I'm not criticizing anybody that doesn't want to. That means you're just not in a place where you want to right now, and that's cool too. The reason I say that is today is really important for me to emphasize that usually there is no new magical money machine. It is the traditional things that have created success since the beginning of time. Modeling those that have already done it, having new patterns, new disciplines, getting rid of habits that don't serve you and finding habits that do. Stretching your mind. The thinking that got you out of Egypt is not the thinking that'll take you to the promised land. The capabilities that got you out of Egypt are not the capabilities that'll take you to the promised land. The action that got you somewhat successful or successful is not the same level of action you need to take or uncomfortable action to go to where you want to be. And if we know that and we realize the little things are the big things, in fact, the little things are everything, then today I want to be a reminder service of some of the things that I do and go through and that successful people, it sounds like I'm saying I'm successful, but the things you do that might seem like, oh, no, give me the secret sauce. Dean, how are you, like, how did you get here? There's got to be the secret sauce. I'll tell you a quick little story. I had the blessing of spending a week with Richard Branson from Virgin Records and Virgin Airlines and all that stuff. It's not because I'm that cool. It's because about 10 years ago, I raised $1 million for his foundation called Virgin Unite. And what I loved about his foundation is he helped people all around the world, but he paid all the bills on the foundation. So if you gave money, all the money went to the people who needed it. So we got a bunch of people together. We raised $1 million. I got an invite to his private island called Necker Island. Never saw it. It's pretty cool. You can Google it on YouTube. So I get a week invite to Necker Island, and he didn't promise to be there, but he happened to be there. And I'm a 5 o'clock a.m. guy every day for 30 freaking years. I wish I could sleep more. So I was getting up every morning and I ran into him 2 mornings in a row. The third morning he says to me, hey, you're the only one up on the island with me. You want to sail with me tomorrow morning? And I was like, nah, no, I'm just kidding. I was like, hell yes. And he asked me if I knew how to sail, and I remember I said yes. I had no freaking clue, and that was a nightmare. We got on his boat, and he's like, hey, can you go to the aft deck and do the stern? I'm like, all right, I lied. I have no idea, but I'll do what you tell me. Long story short, we sailed around the island, and I got to pick his brain. Now, he's a billionaire. I was doing well for myself. I was a multi-millionaire, but this is a billionaire. And I remember thinking this is when it ended forever. I remember thinking when I asked him, because a lot of people ask me, what is your secret to success? What is the one thing you would tell your 20-year-old self? Everybody's looking for this, right? There isn't. But I remember thinking, well, millionaires don't have the, like you're expecting, I always picture this, it's like a little book he pulls out of his back pocket and he opens it and like sunbeams shoot out. It's like, oh, billionaires have the real secret, right? And I remember I couldn't help myself but to ask him that stupid ass question, like, what do you think got you there? And it was the same stuff that got me there. And it was the same stuff that got you there. There was no open the book and sunbeams and rainbows and puppies and angels fly out. It was, hey, I had to discipline myself. I had to overcome obstacles. I couldn't believe my inner self-doubt. I couldn't let imposter syndrome sink in. All the same shit that you think is, no, it's not that. It's got to be this other thing. So why did I take so long to say that? That ended it for me that day. That day, a decade ago, on that boat with Richard Branson, made me realize it's the little things done over and over that add up to the big results. Who knows if we let that story that told us we're not good enough, we're too old, we don't have time, we don't know technology, success is for other people. Who knows if we let that story run our lives, that we will never have the success we want. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that, right? Who knows that if we keep doing what we did yesterday, we will get the same thing tomorrow, right? Who knows that if we let the self-doubt run our lives, if we tell ourselves what we can't do, if we see obstacles before opportunities. So if we know all that, then that whole story to set this up for the first 10 minutes was we need to be repetitive. We need to remind ourselves. We need to get to the mental gym more often if we really want to make 2023 our best year. And I think I'd be doing you a disservice if I just came here and gave you some magical way to be super successful without doing anything. If you guys know me, for those who are part of my family, you know I come from my heart. I think of this as a family. When I say family, I don't take that lightly. If there's family on here in my life, and this is if everybody, some of you, I see faces on here that I've seen for almost a decade, and I want to give you what I think is best, and that's what I'm going to do today. So, got a couple steps to make 2023 kick it off in a good way. So when you think of your goals, that is the number one thing everybody talks about. I'm going to go really deep on this on January 5th. But when you think of goals, I want you to, as we go into this, think of goals less of a New Year's resolution. And I know that sounds crazy, but in the beginning of the year, especially a group like this, you wouldn't be a part of Mastermind, you wouldn't be a part of my inner circle if you were someone that just, didn't think of goals and didn't think of your future. So many times in life, people think goals will solve everything, and it's a part of it, right? It's a part of it. We know, if you ever saw that 50-year Harvard study, there's only one common denominator between a 50-year study of the most successful people from Harvard. Did you ever see that study? The only common thread of the most successful people at Harvard, didn't matter what ethnic background, where they came from, if they were rich or they were poor, if they got great grades or shitty grades. The only common factor of the most successful people at Harvard was they set goals. So how important are goals? I think they're extremely important. But I think we have to look at goals in a different way. So I just want to give you a different light today. If you know anything about me, I always talk about instead of setting a goal looking forward, right? Let's pretend it is 1 year from today and we're back here celebrating and it was the best year of your life. That's the framework in which I would love for you guys to look through setting your goals. Instead of looking forward through a busy life, look backwards at the best year of your life and what had to happen. Now, I share this a lot, but I want to get a little more, I was going to say touchy-feely. That sounded really creepy on a Wednesday, so I'm not going to say that. Marcella, don't laugh at me. I see you, Jana. But my whole point is, when I say look backwards and pretend it's the best year of your life, what your brain will automatically go is, oh yeah, I want to be making more money. I want some more freedom. Oh, I want to lose that 10 pounds. Oh, I want to get the intimacy back in my relationship. That still, I want to be really, I know it sounds like I'm splitting hairs. You're still looking forward of what you wish could happen. I've trained my brain over the last 2 decades that when I do this exercise, and we don't have to do it right here, when you do this exercise, it's not about looking what you hope to happen. It's about saying it already happened and how do you feel looking backwards, meaning put yourself in that spot. And if it's visualization, if it's a little quiet time, if it's reflecting, if it's while you take a walk, if it's in your shower, when you're meditating, whatever it is, picture it. Like I literally can spend time thinking about where I'm going to be in a year from now. And I can literally get goosebumps and I can feel it as if it exists right now. You know, people talk about manifesting and all. It is manifesting. You got to do the work. It's not about just dreaming it and hope it happens. I'm not a believer in that. A lot of people say you set the intention, the universe will deliver. Bullshit. And I'm calling bullshit, sorry, on a Wednesday. You have to set it up and you actually have to do the work. You can't just say, oh, I'd like to have $1 million in my bank account. Let me go back to my old habits of surfing on the internet and watching Netflix and hope that $1 million shows up. No, we gotta do the work. So we'll get a little deeper, but the first thing is we must have that compelling future of our own designed. And for me, I literally can put myself in this place. I can literally put myself in a place and say, like, I will visualize. I'm going to give you a story. And maybe I do that too much. I have a little girl that just turned 2 months old. Her name is Vida, which means life in Spanish. She is the cutest little thing. Thank you, Marley, and everybody. I see your faces, but she is the cutest little thing in the world. When I first was with my wife, when we first got together, years and years ago, she wanted to hoped to have a daughter, and she wanted to name her Vida. And I said, well, we're going to have one. I want to have a boy. I want to have my boy. I want to name him Luca. So we do have Luca and Vida. But 2 years before Vida was born, I can remember sitting thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have this little, my wife's Spanish and jet black hair and jet black eyes. And I remember thinking, I have darker hair. I'm mostly Italian. I said, it's going to be, and I love my older girl. But I'm just telling you about this story of my one little girl here. She's my fourth. And I remember visualizing what she would look like and what kind of dad I would be when she came, and how I am a little older. I'm 54 with a baby, and my grandmother was 49 when she was a grandmother. And I said, at that age, I can replace, the wisdom I have from being on this earth so long. I'll be a different dad. And I visualized the kind of dad I'd be. I visualized what kind of husband I'd be. And I thought of what she would look like with bows in her hair and ribbons in her hair. And I can remember sitting and feeling the bliss of a little girl that wasn't even started yet. And I felt the bliss of it. Now, I know that's personal, but I've also done that with my business. A year before Tony and I decided to build mastermind.com and help people be in the same business we are. A year prior, Tony and I had been friends for almost a decade, and we talked about, when are we going to do business? Like, we just like being friends. And a year prior, I said, if it was a year from now, and it was the greatest year of my life, man, Tony and I talking about helping people in this industry for so long, what would that look like? And I remember dreaming about this. I remember thinking, I want to have a monthly training that I help them every month. I want to have a software that's super easy. I want to make it so they truly understand that they can unlock what they do. Okay, what would that look like? Okay, in a year from now, I'm going to be teaching weekly. We're going to have 10,000 or 50,000 members. We're going to be changing people's lives. We're going to get a new success story every single day. And I started thinking about it so much that I remember vibrating of thinking, oh my God, this is what's happening in a year. And I remember writing down, okay, this is what Mastermind has to look like. And I remember writing down 100 miles and, we're going to do a big launch and we're going to call it the Knowledge Business Blueprint. And I remember writing it down, and I was writing down as if it already happened. I literally, if you could see the hair on my arms, is standing up right here, because I can visualize, because I've been practicing this for so long, that I visualize it and I see it. That is a great practice. Then once we see it, then the part that I think has to happen, as soon as I was done visualizing, I didn't go, done, I dreamed it up. No, then I got my ass to work. Like, who do I need to learn from to do this? Who do I have to model? What patterns of successful people who've already done this that I could model and do in teaching this? And then I started making the list of what I had to get done so that fantasy could become a reality. This might sound like this is what everybody does. But do we? We all agreed if we eat better and work out more, we'd be in better shape. But most of us want to be in better shape, but we don't eat better and we don't work out more. So a lot of us want to be next level successful, and we're looking for something else magically to come along, and it's not gonna. We have to visualize what it is we want to be, and if it was the best year of our lives, we have to get as detailed as possible. Remember, fuzzy targets don't get hit. Don't just say, I want to be a coach making $1 million a year. What does that mean? What kind of coach? How many coaching sessions? How many clients do you need? Listen, if you said, I want to be a coach and I want to make $1 million a year, and you were sitting with me and I was consulting for you, I'd reverse engineer it. How many people, how much do you make per person, right? If you say, I can make, it's $10,000 a year per person. Okay, so that means you need 100 clients. Okay, you need 100 clients over 12 months. It's going to take you, first month you might only get 5. So if you get 5 the first month, and then the second month is 7, and the third month is 20, how many do you need to get? And I would lay out, all right, first month 5, second month 12, third month I need 22, and I'd have a freaking goal every month on how I could get there, and nothing would stop me. I would go back to what I teach you guys. I'd know my why. I'd have my compelling future. I already visualized it. I knew how I feel once I made $1 million being a coach. I know how I would visualize how the people I'm coaching's lives would change. I would think about if I'm saving marriages or helping people eat better or learn how to sell or learn how to go vegan or a million other things. I would think about the lives I'm changing, and I would literally craft the plan saying, okay, $1 million as a coach. Okay, I need 100 clients. That's an average of 10-ish, 8-ish a month, right? Whatever that is. I might not get as many the first one, so I got to stack up the other months. And then I'd say, okay, what is my plan to get the first 5 in January? And I would craft the plan to get my 5 $10,000 coaching sessions in January. And that would be my whole obsession. And if I got 4, well, shit, I got to get an extra one in February. If I got 6, I'm like, I'm ahead of the game. Let's fucking bust it in February, excuse my language. Let's bust it in February, and let's keep this little cushion that I have. Right? I just want to tell you, I'm not trying to say the way I do is perfect, but I meet so many people that set goals and then dabble and hope. It's like, even if you have the recipe, you got to cook the meal. There's no one coming over to do it. So I'm not trying to oversimplify this, but if I could break this down, and I'm speaking from my heart, and I promise you I will go way deeper as well in January on this. But here's what I'd say. It's a year from now. You're looking backwards. It's the best year of your life. What does that look like? And of course you could break it down with revenue, you could break it down with your health, with your life, all the different areas. You guys know how to set goals. But instead of looking forward, look backwards and visualize it. And sometimes it's hard. I didn't come out of the gate doing this. Sometimes we're like, yeah, I don't have time for this visualization crap. You don't have to call it visualization. Maybe that's too big of a word. Just like imagine how you look, how you feel, what kind of money you have in the bank, what kind of clients you have. And out of that, pick a goal. I want 100 clients, 10 grand each. I'm just making this up. Okay, now how do I freaking get that? How do I start today? Okay, first the plan. I need 8 to 10 new clients a month. How am I going to do that? All right, I'm going to do Facebook strategy. I'm going to get my opt-in page up. I'm going to go deeper on studying how to do a high-ticket offer close. I can utilize the strategies I can learn from X, Y, and Z. And so it's the visualization. It's the goal, which is your compelling future, and then deconstruct it and set and schedule how you're going to get there, breaking apart by the month, even by the week. You could even do it by the day. Say, I need 100 for a year. I need 10 a month. Ooh, I need 2.5 people a week. How am I going to get 2 people to say yes to my coaching next week, right? Again, I'm using a high-level example, but most people miss getting down to the granular of what do I have to do today, right? And that brings me to number 2. So if we're setting goals, right? We need a compelling future. I love that story. Sometimes I need my lighthouse, right? If you're in the Northeast and you see the beautiful pictures of lighthouses, that used to direct the fishermen when they came in, right? So they'd be looking at something to go towards. I like having my lighthouse. It's like, what is my lighthouse? What am I fighting for every day? What is my goal? And am I reaching my goal? And am I measuring, right? If you set, I need 2 new clients a week, you have something to measure by. You know if you're winning the game. You know if you're falling behind. You're doing 1 a week, you got to step it up. Doing 3 a week, head of the game, right? So, the lighthouse, compelling future, that's that. The second part is, number 2, let go of the things that don't serve you anymore, that don't bring you towards that goal. So I know if you guys have been with me for a long time, you know I'm an advocate of the not to-do list, right? Everybody's got a to-do list. We all need a not to-do list. I promise you, we're all doing shit and crap that we should have stopped doing a long time ago. It may have served the old version of you, but it doesn't serve the woman or the man you are today, or the woman or man you're designed to be, right? The actions that got you out of Egypt are not the same actions that take you to the promised land. I'm just reading, Jeffrey, you hit it nail on the head. Too much gray shit in my life. We all have too much gray. And literally, that was Jeffrey. You know me because in my notes that I have this morning and in my journal, I literally wrote down, delete the gray in your life. And what I mean by the gray is there are things that you do that are just gray. Like what I wanted to share in this section with you today. There are things, if you know your compelling future, let's take this in order. You know your compelling future. You say, it's the best year of my life. What does that look like? You write it down. Okay, this is my compelling future. I made this thing up. I'm sorry. It could be with your health, your life, your family. Use this for all areas of your life, but I'm going in business. I want to be a coach with 100 clients at 10 grand each, right? If you know that's this part of my life's compelling future, because I'm going to serve others. I get to be the man or woman I was designed to be. I know I'm meant for more. This is how I do it. I could serve my family. I could work from home. I'll make the money that makes me feel in control. This is the thing for me. Okay, so now you have your compelling future. What the gray means, number 2, is there are things that there are actions you can take. Tell me if you agree with me. There are actions you can take that will move you towards that goal. And there are actions that you could take that will move you away from that goal. Is that true? Right? Binging out, going online to look at something for 5 minutes, but spending 2 hours with your finger going like this, does that move you towards your goal or away from your goal? Catherine, I see you shaking. Katarina, I see you shaking your head, right? Are there things that move you away from your goal? Okay? Saying, oh my God, there's a new episode, there's a new show on Netflix, I'm going to go watch one. And you watch the whole season and you burn up 3 or 4 hours. Kim, I think I caught you there, sorry, right? Nancy Rizzo, I see it, right? Does that move you towards your goal or away from your goal, right? Saying, I'm going to hang out with my friends who make me feel bad about myself, but after 2 wines, we don't give a shit, so who cares? But you still do it 3 days a week. Does that move you towards your goal or away from your goal? Asking your unqualified friends to make you feel better about your own dreams, even though they'll always shit on them, does that move you towards your goal or away from your goal? Getting your parents' approval because you've been dying for it for 47 years. It's a waste of freaking time. You may never get it, but you can love them. Just don't ask them. Who gives a shit? It's your life. God gave you these pair of glasses. Don't expect your parents to put your prescription on and see through your lens, or your husband, or your significant other, or your partner. It's their glasses. They got their own shit. You got yours. Don't expect someone to look through your lens. So let me ask you something. Are there things, tell me right now, again, I'm being a reminder service today, but can we be honest? Is there gray shit in your life, yes or no? Right now, do we have gray shit in your life that doesn't move you towards your goal, doesn't really move away from your goal? It's just meh. Yeah, kind of does. What if we just made the decision going into the new year that I'm either working on the shit, the stuff that moves the needle in my life towards the man or woman I am designed to be, or it does not move me towards the man or woman I'm designed to be. And if it's a no, then we throw it on our not to do list and just stop doing it. I use an analogy with my team. I know it's very 7th grade-ish, but I'm like, if you have a hammer and you hit your thumb with the hammer and it hurts, you can get a lot of advice, but the simple advice is stop hitting your thumb with the hammer and it'll stop hurting. But so many of us are still looking for approval. We're still dimming our glow around certain people so we can match them. We're waiting for people to jump on board and go, I'm so happy for you. Yes, I see your vision. I see your goals, and I think you should go for it. I'm sorry, you may never get it. But why do you need it? You're just hitting that hammer, right? There are certain things in your business that you stay away from because I don't know if I love marketing. So let me do everything possible to mask the fact that I'm actually not working on the shit that will actually make me money. And I've redesigned my logo 687,000 freaking times because I love crayons and creativity and colors. Stop the madness. You're hitting your hammer on your thumb and you're going, I wonder why I haven't made my first sale yet. Ow. What? This isn't working. Ow, maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm too young. Ow, maybe there's too many people in this industry. Ow, no, stop hitting your hand and face the facts that you have to work on the shit that actually moves the needle. And if you're not, you're going to dabble the rest of your life. We all good on that? Is it okay that I'm just totally honest and open? This is our family. This is our inner circle family, right? Let me move into number 3, and that is, what has distractions, focusing on the gray, or focusing on the story that scares you, that's really a byproduct of what you're afraid of, what has that already cost you? What has delay cost you? If you could use a word, procrastination, scared, fearful, not good enough, people don't believe in me, now's not the right time, when I'm less busy, when I finally have all my ducks in a row, when people in my life support me. Who's already used that, one of those or one of your own, that's already kicked your ass and made you delayed on the man or the woman you're supposed to be? If you're really honest. Raise your hand if that's true, so nobody feels alone here, right? If you look in your room, everybody's got their hands up, right? Who cares? That was yesterday. The worst thing you could do is beat yourself up tomorrow for what you did yesterday. Is yesterday gone? Can anybody redo the past? If you can, let me know, because I got a few things I want to fix up. But if you can't, then what the hell would we focus on yesterday for? It is gone. It is research and development. It's in yesterday years. We could use it as our anchor, or the thing that says, hey, I learned a lot. Never doing that again. Right? If we know that that certain thing has already cost you too much, if you hold on to that, how much will it cost you in the future? If you hold on to that thing that makes you hesitate or procrastinate or worry or question yourself, what's it going to cost you in the future? You already know the answer. You already know, some of you, and today's the day, why not make today the day to let regret go? But if you're honest, who has a little bit of regret that you should have been further along in your life? Because, and who feels you played small because of other people or other stories or other worries around you? That you should use this degree that you went to school for. Your parents paid a lot for it. That starting your own business is for other people. I'm a little old for technology. That's a young kid's game. I'm a little bit of an outlier. I'm kind of a freak. Freaks, people don't buy from freaky people like me. I'm in a smaller demographic. Listen, we all have our shit, and we all can use that story as an anchor or use that story as our fuel. We get to decide. And today you get to decide. I'm a freaky bitch. Like, I'm doing crazy stuff, and I'm going to find my tribe who like the way I do it. Like, excuse me, but I'm just being honest. Like, I don't care how crazy you are, what an outsider you are. I don't care about the shit that you do when no one's watching. There's another million people doing the same shit you are when no one's watching. And if you just lean into who you are, you'll find that tribe. That's just the way it works. But we just got to get out of here. Somebody just said it, get out of your head, right? How about this for a thought? We know that we all agreed, you all raised your hand, you all said yes, that there's things that held you back. And there's the stories that I believe that some of these stories are like Chicken Soup for the Soul, the famous book with Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I believe there's kind of like chicken soup for the soul on making us feel okay about not reaching our goals. Right? So if you really boil it down, Tony Robbins, my partner and dear friend, will always say, the two biggest fears in life really boil down to two things. Everything can be associated to two things. Anybody know those two things? Anybody know the two things Tony says all fear boils down to? Close, more coming in. Pain and pleasure, close. Not enough. There you go. Tina E., you win. I'm not good enough, and I won't be loved. Think of everything that's ever stopped you in your life. You could boil it back down to, I'm not good enough or I won't be loved. Right? And all of that could be painful. So here's what I've done in my life. I've found something that has deeper pain associated. Hear me on this one. Deeper pain associated to inaction than to the fear of the action. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys something, and if I've done this with you before, then just play along and pretend it's the first time, okay? Think of the thing you're most afraid of, right? You guys, we're listing them like crazy today. I'm too old, I'm too young, dim my glow, I'm afraid. What if people look at me in a different way? I'm afraid to be myself. All the things that it could be. You guys got, right? You guys, mark on a 1 to 10. Put it on here. You don't have to say it again. Fear of success, all the things that come in, insecurity, not good enough, not loved. Mark a 1 to 10 how scary that is for you. Because I get how scary it can be. What if my husband or my significant other looks at me silly? It's an 8, right? It's a 10, it's a 9. Look at the 8s, 9s, 10s, 8s, 10, 10, 10, 9, 7.5, 9, 9, an 8, a 9, an 8. It's scary. Okay. So I want you to hold, in fact, do me a favor, write down what it is, the thing that is the 8, the 7, the 3, cool, a 10, a 9, an 8, 7, 8, 8, 9. Write down for yourself what that thing is. Real quick, just write it down. Too old, too young, people around me, I'm not good enough, I'm a procrastinator, I won't follow through, I'm afraid of success, whatever it is. Write down what it was and then write your number next to it, okay? I'm afraid people find out I'm not that smart. I'm afraid to be out there. I'm an introvert. I'm afraid to put myself out there. Whatever it is, right? Waited too long. Fear of success. Not good enough. Okay, write in your journal. Now, you write that down? I want you to think of this. You mark that. The average, I would say, is an 8. Maybe an 8.2. Lots of 9s and 10s. But let's just say the average is an 8. Okay, now I want you to think about this and really hear me. If you heard me say this before, hear me now for the first time ever. What if at the end of our life, I don't want to make this funny, but what if at the end of life you meet your maker, God, your maker, whoever you believe your maker is, and you get 10 minutes. And truly, I'm not saying this to be funny, but let's just say your maker had an iPhone, because who doesn't? I know there's some Android users, but let's just say God, your maker, pulled out his phone and played you a video of the woman or the man you could have been. Living into your full potential, having more freedom, having time to have a relationship coach so you can find the passion in your life, or to find that significant other, or to lean into impacting others and speaking on stages and writing books and partnering with Tony or somebody that's in your life, or having a top-rated podcast. Or just being able to do the things where you could work from the Eiffel Tower. While you're looking at the Eiffel Tower, you pop open your laptop, do some work, and go have fun and go have some coffee in France, or go to the Amalfi Coast and drink limoncello, or whatever lives into your heart. Imagine playing a video of the woman or the man you could have been. And I want you to think about that. Think about if you said, oh shit, can I go back, please? Like, this is what I think of myself. Please, I know I'd say, please, let me go back. I'm not going to let that bullshit story, I'm not going to let that thing scare me anymore. Please, give me one more shot. What if there was 0 shot for a second chance? How scary would it be to be at the end of your life and realize you played small because of other people or because of shitty-ass stories you told yourself? So do me a favor now. I want you to rate that in the chat on a 1 to 10. How scary would it be on a 1 to 10 basis if you got to the end of your life and realized you missed out on the man or the woman you could have been? Look what's coming through now. Is there anything less than a 10? 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. 10, 10, 10, 10, 1,000, 100,000, 10, 10, 10, 10. Breaks my heart. A million, 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 million. Okay. Now let me ask you something. You ready for this? Go back and look at what you were afraid of before that you averaged was an 8.5. And now in the chat, I would love for you to write down how scary is that other thing that you had. You rated an 8.5. What is it now? How scary? It's a 0. It's silly. It's a 3. It's a 1. It's a 0. Look what's coming through right now, guys. How about that? There's nothing above a 2. Oh, there's a 3. A -1. There you go, Sina. Right? A 0, a 3, a 1, a 0, a 1, a 0. It seems silly now, doesn't it? That you're letting that stupid ass story cost you from being the man or the woman you are supposed to be. Now, I'm glad we can embrace that here today. It's why I love having you guys as members of Mastermind and members of this family. It's because we need this every single month. Who needed this conversation today? Raise your hand, or say me, right? But will you need it again next month? And the month after? It's repetition. We all need repetition. We all do, and we all need reminders. I do. You know what I love about being a part of Mastermind and Inner Circles? I get to share this with you every month. You don't think this shit gets anchored in with me by teaching it? I'm not a fake. I'm not an Italian. I'm not a fugazi. This is how I live my life. What I'm sharing with you is my life. So the more I get to share it, the more it anchors in for me. But I need this every month. I need these reminders. You guys just averaged your shitty ass stories an 8.5 until you really thought about something scarier. And it became a 0 on average because there was a lot of minus. So find more pain, ready for this? Find more pain in inaction than you do with action, and you'll take action. You'll move forward. I'm not trying to make it super simple, but I'm just giving you some highlights into my life. I find more pain of being afraid than I do with standing still. Did anybody see the interview I did with Matthew McConaughey? Raise your hand if you saw that. It was during last year, the Time to Thrive Challenge. It was so much fun. He said something that was pretty cool. He said, I've just convinced my brain is, I'm not going to try to talk like him, but he's like, I got more afraid with the not knowing. If I don't try and I never know, imagine getting to my end of my life and not knowing if I could have done all this shit. I'm more afraid of the not knowing, so therefore I must do. If you read anybody read Green Lights? It's a really kick-ass book. It's so good. He talks about literally talks about he had a dream about going to Africa, and he's in Africa and he finds tribes, and it's such a cool story. I can just picture him doing it. And he gets to this one, little town, or what you'd call it, a tribe's area. And I'm looking for a better word, but he gets there, and when he's there, is like the toughest guy in his village. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Thanks, Shelly. He gets to the village, and he gets challenged to fight the strongest guy in the village. Right? He's like, man, I'm just trying to figure out my life. And he said the guy looked huge. He was monstrous. And he's like, he remembers saying to himself, he's like, damn, I think I'll be more afraid of saying I was afraid to fight the guy. I'm scared to not know what this would be like. And he went and fought this guy, got his ass kicked, but it was so cool because the things he learned from it, and the next year he went back, and that guy personally walked him from that village to another one like 25 miles away. And he said they just arm around each other talking, and he said the friendship I have with this man and what he made me look through life, I never would have experienced it if I didn't take that fight. He knew he was going to get his ass kicked. Cristiano, I know you must have read it, man. Tell me that wasn't awesome, right? I'd laughing my ass off in that story. But he wouldn't have known. So he's more scared of the not knowing. So maybe we can all be a little more scared of the not knowing. Okay. Next one. I think we all have this vision of once I understand it all, once I get it perfect, then I'm going to do this. And I want to challenge you today. Jill Lewis, I see you shaking your head. I see you, Jana and Nancy. I think, and this comes from Tony, which I learned from age, one of the lowest conditions, one of the lowest, he used a better word, form of thinking in the world is perfection. Because really what perfectionism is your subconscious, that scary thing inside that's trying to protect you. It's really just masking fear. Well, I'd do it if I understood it all. I'd do it if everything was perfect. Is anything ever perfect? Raise your hand if you're a parent. Right? And this isn't not knocking those that aren't. But did anybody have that shit figured out when you had your first child? Was anybody a perfect parent? Right now, I am the parent of a 16-year-old who just got her driver's license last week. That's a whole new world. Where do you put boundaries on that? She just gets in her car and leaves. Holy shit. I wasn't expecting that. Thank God I have her tracked on her phone. I know where she is at every moment, how fast she's going. Might sound creepy, but hey, I got to protect my daughter. But my whole point is I have a 16-year-old. New emotions, new boyfriend, new driver's license. I have a 14-year-old boy going through puberty. Forgot what that insanity is. And I have a 2.5-year-old and a baby who loves to cry at night. If you think I got that shit figured out, you are completely wrong. I am a taxi cab trying to figure out teenagers while trying to support my wife when our baby cries in the middle of the night. It is something else. If you waited to have children until it was perfect, would any of us have children? No, that shit is so sloppy and the most amazing thing in the history of the world. Simultaneously, there is nothing more I enjoy. Nothing. I love being with you guys today. I love being Tony's partner. I love being with my team. There's nothing I love like being a dad. Nothing. And it's the hardest job I have. Who in here has ever reprimanded, scolded, or yelled at your children, and an hour later you go, I am such a shithead. I am such a shithead. Like, that was the worst example in the history of the world. Like, I took my day out, I took my dad's parenting style, something popped out of my mouth that had nothing to do with being a good child. Anybody else an hour later like this on the door? Brody, you got a minute? Can I talk to you? This guy screwed up. So can we talk about what just happened? What you did wasn't cool, but the way this guy handled it was way freaking worse, right? If you waited to be perfect to have a child, you would never have children. There is no perfection. Well, simultaneously, it is God sent. It is magical, right? Isn't it the same with our businesses? Us going into a new role, a different role, scaling, trying something new. It is messy. It is imperfect. And that is, in a sense, the beauty of it. Our brains are saying, wait till everything's perfect and you will never engage. You will just wait and wait and wait because nothing is ever perfect. I love that saying, jump out of the plane and grow wings on the way down. That might be a little extreme, but that's how we have to approach it more, especially going into this new world, is we're waiting for all this perfection and it's not coming. So what if we fell in love with this sloppy achievement? What if we just fell in love with action, not perfection? What if we fell in love with, and if you know, I talked about it in Mastermind, right? Of just being a better version of ourselves tomorrow than we were yesterday. What if we just fell in love with, again, I'm going to go back to Matthew McConaughey because I love this. Did anybody ever see his Oscar speech? It's pretty damn good. If you haven't seen it, you should Google it. He's up giving his Oscar speech. And, you know, he said, so many people ask me who my hero is. Anybody know who he said his hero is? His dad. It seems like it was. His dad's there we go, Tom Martin, winner, ding, ding, ding. He said his hero is him in 10 years. How cool is that? How deep of a thinker is that guy? My hero is me in 10 years as long as I take that uncomfortable action, as long as I forge forward, as long as I'm more afraid of not doing than doing, as long as I change those stories, I take uncomfortable action, I try new shit. You think about what he did. He literally, if you read his book, he was a lawyer, going to school to be a lawyer, and one day something changed. He took the uncomfortable action, had to call his dad and say, sorry, I want to be in film. And then he did romantic comedies. He was the most sought after in romantic comedies. Remember when he just did romantic comedy after romantic comedy? And then one day he said, man, this is not who I want to be. And he stopped. And his manager said, you say no to work in Hollywood. You'll go ice cold. You'll never come back. He's like, good. Then that's what I'm doing. He made a decision. He was afraid of the not knowing what it would be like to do something different than a romantic comedy. 2 years it went dry. 2 years in, his manager said, you ready to go back to romantic comedy? He said, no. Told you I wanted to do something deeper. His next role won him an Oscar. His next role won him an Oscar. It's legendary. Only one Oscar a year. Think about that. Where do we have to take uncomfortable action? Where do we have to stop thinking about perfection? Where do we have to start evolving towards more uncomfortable action, to just be a better version of ourselves, to tell ourselves a different story, to be more afraid of the unknown, of the undoing than the doing, to remind ourselves that we want to get to the end of our lives. I think about it all the time. I want my maker to pull up his iPhone and go, holy shit, you were insane. Is there anything you didn't try? Like, what made you think you could do that? What made, like, I want to be the crazy bastard that's like, hey, everybody, come here. You got to watch this video. I see you laughing, Bruce, right? Don't you want to be the one that sets the standard to go, how would you think you would try that and win? Like, I don't know. I was afraid of not trying, right? That's who I want to be. And when you start embracing that now, then all of a sudden, you make it a different game. I want to tell you what I told my daughter that I think is really working well for her in high school. I said, I talk to my kids as if I'm talking to you. I've talked to them since they were adults, since they were 5. And they have grown into it. And I'm so proud of the values they have, the decisions they make. I really am. My daughter still doesn't clean her room, but I love the child that she is. And I love the woman that she's growing into. But you know how I told her to handle high school? She got a boyfriend. They talked for 5 months, and then they broke up. They had one date in my living room watching a movie, but the rest was just all communicating it at school or through text messages or Snap, I guess. But they broke up, and then after they broke up, he started, my daughter knew I was saying this, oh my God, I should just keep my mouth shut. Anyway, God forbid it gets back to her, it's so private. And she tells me, so I gotta keep her trust. But here's how I told her how to handle all of it. Friends come in, friends go out. Everybody remember friends in high school that some go derail and you just don't feel like going down that road, right? So she had to pull back from them and, you know, so you're finding your way and all that stuff. So I said, imagine high school. Remember when you used to watch movies about high school and it was this high school drama and the craziness? I said, it is. High school is a movie. And it is drama that you're experiencing for the first time, so everything's more heightened. The friend leaving the friend group, the boyfriend or the girlfriend leaving, everything is heavy and deep. It's a movie. So here's what I want you to do. I've been telling this since 7th grade. Experience high school as like the high school movie, and you just get to be a player in it. And realize it's all fun, and you're supposed to have breakups, and you're supposed to try to figure things out, and you're gonna have emotions where you think, maybe I'm in love, maybe I'm not. What the hell is love? Why is this friend leaving? Why is this person different? Why is she making those choices? All of it's part of the cast, all of it's part of the script, and if you didn't experience, you couldn't experience life the way you do. So experience high school as if you're in a movie. And every time someone comes up, I'm like, oh, that is a good plot. Just yesterday, we're in the car, she shared something with me. I cannot share with you, but she shared something with me. I'm like, oh, that would be such a movie plot. Oh my God, that is the twist. Oh my God, that is the backstabbing. That is a good part. That would make the cutting room floor, wouldn't it? And she just laughs about it. And high school, I know, is a different experience. I know it's a different experience for her. She's living it like she's in a movie that's part of the journey of life. She doesn't take shit super serious. I'm not kidding you. The breakup, she's like, I'll get over this. And I learned, and she's like, it's kind of a lot of drama for a 10th grader. She's like, I think I'm gonna put off boyfriend till 11th, maybe 12th grade. She goes, a little too much drama. I'm gonna enjoy my friends. Like nothing is too deep for her because it's part of it. What if we took that lesson for our lives? What if we stopped overthinking and worrying about the failure and if people judge us and, oh my God, she tried to go live on Facebook. You see only 2 people showed up? We think about that stupid shit. Who cares about other people's opinion? Who really cares? Are you gonna dim your glow to meet other people's expectations when most people around you, not that they're bad people, they're just afraid to step into their full potential? You're not, or you wouldn't be a part of this group. What if we made it a movie? What if we made it more fun? What if we just made it that I'm going to get to my end of my life and I'm going to laugh with bliss? Think of somebody reading your eulogy going, damn, Patricia, she was crazy. I can't believe the shit she tried, especially in her 30s and then 40s. And then, oh my God, and by the time she got to her 60s, she was just crazy. Like, I want to be watching somebody read my eulogy going, yep, that was me. Yeah, I did that too. Ooh, that one I failed. But I gave it my best shot. I don't want to be like, I wish I would have tried more. So that's my message for today. That's your inner circle for the month of December so we can get into starting our new year right. Please join us on January 5th. You'll get the email. You're invited. You're our guest. There's no charge to be on a part of it. And it is an amazing, amazing 3 hours. We'll do what we did today, except it'll be over 3 hours and we'll go deeper on it. And we'll have a blast. Remember, as part of Mastermind, you got Tony's course that's in there, Time of Your Life. It's kick-ass if you haven't started listening to it. You have all these inner circles, 4 years, maybe 5 years worth that you have a library. Anytime you're feeling a certain way, go find an inner circle. I know we're live right now, but some of you are watching this, thousands are watching as a replay. You can watch the replays anytime you want. We made that a part of the library. It's always there for you. And also, I saw you guys ask, and this is not a sales pitch, but so many of you asked when I said the journal. If you don't know about my Better Life journals, I freaking love these. I don't leave anywhere without it. And it's not just a journal. I just teach on how I journal. First few pages, there's also a video tutorial. It's even some pages have the way I schedule my week and my month. If you want to check this out, you can go to deansjournal.com. Literally, this is not a profit center for us. We sell, I think they're $9 or $14 by the time we get it out the door. But I love journaling. It's such a part of my life. I call it outcome journaling. If you want to grab one, it's deansjournal.com. And I mean it. This is not a hard push. Just so many people ask, and there's 4 cool colors. Anyway, I love this journal. I don't leave the house without it. And I just wanted to let you guys know about it. All right, January 5th. Be there, put it on your calendar. Make sure you live inside mastermind.com. I'll see you on Mondays, and then we'll have a kick-ass January. I appreciate you so much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. We wish you the absolute best. Let's crush 2023 together. See you guys.